Hi, Song here. Today I will teach you how to submit your individual income tax form in Malaysia. Some disclaimer before we start. This video is meant for individual who is working in Malaysia, which is those that earning employment income. If you are working as a sole proprietor or partnership in which you generate business income, this is not the video for you because this is mainly on employment income. If you have business income, the form that you need to submit is not whatever we are going to discuss today, which is Form B. In that case, your due date for submission is June 30th, 2023 for Year of Assessment 2022. We will address that in a separate video. This video is meant for those that only has employment income or those that has rental income without employment income. You have other sources of income in which you are generating rental income only, then this is the video for you. Non-business income. Now, first of all, this video will be in two parts. Part 1 is on the registration of tax file and part 2 is on the submission of income tax form. In this case, is Form BE as a tax resident. You can refer to the timestamp in the description to get to whichever topic that you want to check out. Chapter number 1 is how to register for tax file. If you are new in Malaysia and you have yet to register any tax file, go to mytax.hasil.gov.my. Click this button called e-Daftar. Once you get to e-Daftar, you will see a list of items that you have to fill up. That includes the identification number. If you are a local, then you have to key in the IC number, or if you are a foreigner, you need to key in your passport number. Key in the email, phone number and mobile phone number with the security phrase and go for search. Once you enter search, and if you have not registered with any tax file, this is the box that it will appear in which they will ask you to register e-Daftar, which is electronic register in English. Now, I would like to apologize in advance because we do not have a live sample for me to show you how this is being done. Hence, I can only rely on the user manual that is issued by the Inland Revenue Board in this case. Once you click e-Daftar, there is a list of items that you have to fill up. That includes your name, your citizenship, your country of residence, your gender, your taxpayer's category, whether you have married or not married, you have to put it in the status, date of birth, correspondent address, and email address. Once complete, you can press save. And if you look at the left-hand side, this is the menu page that you have to go through. This is the first page. Second page is the particulars of employer. You need to fill up your employer's details, in which you have to put in your employer's number, your employer's name, employer's phone number, and the address. Once everything is complete, press save. Third one is particular of business. If you are in business, you can register here as well. You can put in your sole proprietorship's name or partnership's name and continue with the business premises address and click save. Part D, if you are married, you need to put in your particulars of your spouse. So you can put in the income tax number, the name, the IC number or passport number, marriage status, and the date of divorce, if any. And if you have more than one wife, you can always add spouse, save, and then click next. Part E is registration of employers file. That is only applicable to those that with business income, sole proprietor or partnerships. And if you want to register your tax number with your employer number together, you can proceed with this by choosing your sector and then number of employees that you have. Otherwise, you can just ignore this one and then click save. Part F is the particular of legal representative. If your files or if you are representing someone, you can key in the details here, which is your own personal details. Or Part G, if this is for filing of a deceased person, then you can key in the particulars of the administrator or the legal representative of the deceased person. Once saved, you can go to Part H, which is your tax agent's particulars. If you have engaged a tax agent to assist you with filing and registration, then you need to put in the particulars of the tax agent. This is optional. So Malaysia practices self-assessment system. It is not a compulsory requirement for you to seek or engage for tax agent, but of course we highly recommend that. If you have engaged a tax agent, you can leave the whole application to your tax agent and they will register for you. Otherwise, they refuse to help you, you can then put in the tax agent approval number here and with their particulars and save. Lastly, you have to upload the documentation. Under your case, I would say is mainly the passport or the IC copy. Once you upload, click next and make sure everything is correct. key in your name and choose the status of yourself and click save. After saving, there will be an acknowledgement copy, a slip. You need to print it out and keep it as a copy. Subsequently, when you want to check the application status, you need this reference number. Part 2 is how to submit Form BE. Like I said again and again, this is for tax resident in Malaysia. Therefore, we are referring to who has been in Malaysia for the calendar year more than at least 182 days during the calendar year. Of course, there are other requirements for you to qualify as a resident status, which is under Section 71B, C and D. But the general rule here is to stay in Malaysia for 182 days. Once you qualify as a tax resident in Malaysia, this is the form that we are going to talk about. If you are a non-tax resident in which you are in Malaysia less than 182 days and you cannot qualify the rest of the resident status test, then you need to file a Form M. How to log into your Form BE, your income tax return in Malaysia? First, you need to go to mytax.hasil.gov.my. Choose the ID type, which is the identification number for locals or passport number for foreigners, and you can click submit. Now, if you are new and this is the first time activating, there is two options for you. One is for electronic CP55D, while the other one is eKYC. eKYC means you have to go through a series of face identification to be able to approve, while eCP55D is to fill up a form to allow your tax being registered with the e-filing, in which you have to put in your name, your correspondent address, you have to put in your email. After you have completed the form, click submit, and the portal will provide you with a digital certificate to allow you to submit online. Once you have the digital certificate, you can then create your password and log into Taxation Services. Go to e-filing, click EBE Year of Assessment 2022. We are doing calendar year for 2022, so 1st of January until 31st December 2022. Your due date to submit is 30th April 2023. There is a grace period for online e-filing, in which has been extended until 15th of May 2023. So after you have clicked e-filing, go to EBE Year of Assessment 2022. Choose EBE Year of Assessment 2022. If you are a non-resident, go to EM instead rather than EBE. In this page, which is the form, there are 5 different pages. You can refer to the left-hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 is the profile of the individual, in which you have to put in your passport number, your citizenship, your gender, your status at the end of 2022, in which referring to whether you are married or single, the date of marriage, and the type of assessment. So when you choose the assessment type, you can see there are 4 types. The husband's capacity, the second one is on the wife's capacity. By combined assessment means husband and wife, you can merge together, you can combine and submit together, but I would say it's not so tax efficient if both of you are working. So I would suggest you to go for third option, which is going for separate assessment. If the other partner is not working and is not making any income, you can choose number 4. So put in the profile of your spouse and then the name of your spouse, and then you can click save. Next, go to page number 2 is to insert other profile details. That includes the phone number, the number of your employer, whether or not your tax is being borne by the company. If it is not borne by the company, just click no. If you have any foreign bank account in overseas, please put yes, otherwise you can just choose no. And this profile also asks whether you have disposed any real property under real property gains tax. If yes, you can tick yes, otherwise just click no. And whether you have reported that to Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia. They will also check your refund status if there is any, how to refund, and also the bank account details. And lastly is your correspondent address. After you key in the correspondent address, there is another column which is on the incentive claim. As far as I know, most of us, 99%, does not use this incentive unless you fall under national athletics or other government agencies, then you could have this incentive. Otherwise, generally it is not applicable to us. Next, go to page 3, which I think is the most important page, as you need to disclose all your income. The first item is your employment income. So as an employee, you will receive a Form EA. So based on the Form EA, the Form EA is segregated into a few parts. You have Part B, which is your gross employment income. You have Part D and E, which talks about the relief that you can claim, mainly on the TP1 or your child relief, and also your social EIS and EPF. So if you have all these details, you can claim it. That is on Part D and E. Lastly is Part F, which is on the tax-exempt allowances. Those amounts are the one that is not taxable in your income tax. So you can take your Part B, put it under total employment income. If you have been working with more than one companies during the year, you can put the number of employment in the second column. The third column is on the rental income. Just to highlight to you, this is referring to net rental income. Hence, you are allowed to claim all the direct expenses. Use those direct expenses to offset against your rental income. You can then put it under this third column. Expenses that you can claim includes quick rent assessment, loan interest, repairs, fire insurance, maintenance fees, and more. Part 4 is talking about the other income. That includes the royalty income. That includes, let's say, apart from this work, your existing employment income, you also gain some commission income from other parties. That amount can be inserted in this part, referring to that. If you have extra commission income earned, you can then put it under other income. Now, this blue box is something new, effective 2022. This is referring to foreign source income being remitted back to Malaysia, and it is taxable. Now, if you have been following us for quite some time and you also attend our classes, our courses under finance and tax and other tax related topics, even our budget seminars, you know that foreign source income is no longer taxable. It is exempted until 2026, but that is not limited to all income by individuals. If this is related to business income, then it is still taxable in Malaysia. So this column mainly, I would say, is more for those business income. You can put it in, especially partnership business income. The guideline you want to refer is technical guideline in 2022. You can go and check that out. When you put those income in this column, it will be taxable. That's where the confusion starts, because earlier on we said this is exempted, but at the end when you put it here, it is taxable. So I just want to highlight to you, this part of the income is referring to those that is taxable. If this is exempt, we have to put it in another column, which I will show you shortly. So after putting it in this column, you will get an aggregate income, which is the total income that you need to pay tax on. You can claim some special exemptions or deductions, for example, the angel investor deduction, and you can also claim approved donations that you have made throughout the year. If you click this second blue button at the approved donation, this is the list of approved donation that can be claimable. You can go through them and see whether it is applicable to you or not. Otherwise, you can continue to the rest of the page, in which this page also asks us how much PCB that we have made in the past. Rightfully, if the employer is paying your PCB or your money tax deduction, this column should be an accurate one. So you do not need to modify them, you just need to verify it with your EA form. Apart from PCB or money tax deduction, there are other advanced taxes that we pay, include withholding tax and CP 500, but that is mainly for business income, so I will skip those in this video. Subsequently, there is also a box for you to fill up employment income which is not being reported from the prior years, and also the one that I have mentioned earlier on foreign source exempt income. You have to put it in this blue button here, go in and then key in from which country, what is the income all about, and how much is the exempt amount. You can press continue after complete, and you can go to part 4, which is the most longest one, I would say, the longest part and also the most important part. Those are your personal relief. So the list of personal relief is very long. I'll give you a screenshot. I will still rely upon you to check out the summary so that you can find out which one is claimable and which one is not in your case. So I will just note a few which most of us are claiming. So generally, I would say if you have children is 2,000. If they are studying university and above, it's 8,000. Spouse relief is 4,000. Alimony to your former wife is 4,000. If you have acquired a laptop, a mobile phone, or a tablet in 2022, you can claim all the way up to 5,000, 2,005 plus 2,005. Your Unifi bills, internet bills, your gym subscription, all those are claimable. Your parents' medical expenses, your own serious diseases, up to 8,000. Your medical checkup, up to 1,000. If you have bought sports equipment, it's 2,005 plus additional 500. That includes rental fees paid to sports facilities. Medical insurance is 3,000, life insurance is 3,000, EPF is 4,000. So those are the common ones. Just go through them and just claim whatever applicable to you. Next, let's proceed to page 5, which is the last page. It's basically just a summary of total income tax that we have to pay and total chargeable income that we have calculated throughout the whole process. So once everything is correct, you can just click continue. Make sure you print out the draft to check each and every single details. If everything is correct and accurate, you can save and submit. Once you have submitted, you will receive this notice. Print it out. This is very important, especially those that wants to buy a motor vehicle later or you want to use it for your housing loan later. This form is extremely important. Last stage is go to tax payment. You can go to e-Bayar Hasil to make this payment. You can go to first option in which you type in your tax reference number, but just to note to you, even though the government says we are using IG, but in this portal it is still using OG and SG. So if you cannot find your IG, just click in OG. Or you can use option number 2, which is using the bill number. You can find out the bill number and key it in. Now, if you do not know where to find the bill number, you can always use back the first option, which I think is easier, but just take note of a few things. After you have keyed in your IC number or your passport number and the security code, or you want to use your income tax number also can. You key in your income tax reference number with the security code and press submit. You are required to choose a payment code. For individual cases, we are looking at 084. Installment number is 99. After you have chosen the right option, continue with making payment via FBX payment, in which you do a transfer online. So that completes your whole process of submitting your income tax return as an employee in Malaysia. There are cases where followers and our friends ask us, hey Song, what is the purpose of getting a tax agent to submit for you in this case, since you have already given us the whole process? Of course, if you engage a tax agent, we will do something more than this, basically to verify your details, make sure everything is correct, make sure we have proper record keeping for you, and we will submit via tax agent. That means we do not need your personal account. We can use our capacity as a tax agent to submit, as we are approved by the Ministry of Finance. Under such case, if in any case, if let's say if there is an audit, the IRB will send us a copy of the audit letter for us to take action. So we are basically your shield in this case, and we will help you verify and make sure everything is correct before we submit, and we will keep all the record keepings to ensure you are always in safe hands. If you need our tax agent services, you can drop us an email under admin@ancgroup.biz, or you can WhatsApp us at 603-9213-1602. And that ends my video. Thank you very much, and I hope you benefit from this video.